Chapter 1: The Night Ritual and the Awaited Customer.
Tuesday's early morning hours arrived silently through the empty city streets, carrying with it the familiar aroma of roasted coffee that escaped through the windows of Luna Coffee. Kael was adjusting the final details behind the counter, his long fingers arranging cups with the precision of someone who had repeated this ritual for 3 years. At 25, he had already accepted that his social life was limited to those solitary hours between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., when the coffee shop remained open for insomniacs, night shift workers, and a few eccentrics who preferred the company of coffee to the loneliness of their own apartments. The door chime rang softly at 3:07 a.m. Kael looked up, already expecting to see the familiar face that had become part of his routine over the past 2 months. Ren walked to the counter with slightly dragging steps, his dark hair disheveled and that tired expression that could never completely hide the intelligent sparkle in his brown eyes. "Double Americano, no sugar," Ren murmured before Kael could even ask, leaving the coins on the counter. His fingers briefly brushed against Kael's as he took the cup, a touch so quick it could have been accidental, but one that made the coffee shop owner's heart race imperceptibly.
"Another sleepless night?"
Kael asked, trying to sound casual while watching Ren head to the corner table, the one by the window that offered a view of the street lit only by yellowish streetlights.
Chapter 2: Words Between Sips.
Ren opened his laptop with automatic movements, but this time he didn't immediately start typing. Instead, he stared at the blank screen, his fingers suspended over the keyboard as if waiting for words to appear by magic. Kael observed from afar this unusual hesitation. Usually, Ren would arrive and immediately dive into work, typing furiously for hours until the sun began to rise.
"Writer's block?"
Kael's voice appeared beside the table, making Ren startle slightly. The coffee shop owner was holding a slice of chocolate cake, which he carefully placed next to the laptop.
"On the house."
Ren raised an eyebrow, a half-smile playing at the corner of his lips. "I don't usually accept charity."
"It's not charity, it's self-interest."
Kael replied, pulling out the empty chair and sitting down.
"You're my only regular customer during the early hours. If you stop writing, you might start sleeping at normal hours and I'll be alone here again."
For the first time in 2 months, Ren laughed, a low, genuine sound that made Kael's chest warm. "So that's it. You keep me awake for company?"
"Maybe."
Kael shrugged, but there was something more serious in his dark eyes.
"What do you write about? I never asked." Chapter 3: Confessions with a Taste of Coffee.
"Romance novels," Ren replied after a long sip of coffee, watching Kael's reaction. "It's not exactly what people expect when they meet a guy like me." Kael tilted his head, genuinely curious.
"What do you mean, a guy like you?"
"Oh, you know, the typical insomniac, antisocial little writer who freelances and shows up at coffee shops in the middle of the night." Ren gestured vaguely with his free hand. "People assume I write dark thrillers or depressing science fiction."
"And why romance?"
The question caught Ren off guard. He studied Kael's face for a moment, looking for signs of judgment or mockery, but found only genuine interest. "Because I believe everyone deserves to have their love story well told, even if it's only in fiction." Something changed in Kael's expression. A softness that Ren had never noticed before appeared in his features, making him look younger, more vulnerable.
"It must be comforting, creating happy endings."
"It is, even when real life doesn't cooperate much," Ren murmured, his eyes fixing on Kael's for a moment longer than necessary. The silence that followed wasn't uncomfortable, it was charged with something unspoken, a subtle tension that made the air between them seem denser.
Chapter 4: The First Touch Sparked a Flame.
The following week, their routine changed subtly. Kael began joining Ren more frequently, bringing fresh coffee and small snacks. Sometimes they sat in silence, Kael reading a book while Ren typed. Other times they talked about everything and nothing. Movies, music, the peculiarities of the coffee shop's daytime customers. It was a Thursday when it happened. Ren was struggling with a particularly difficult scene, his fingers flying over the keyboard before stopping abruptly and deleting everything. He sighed heavily, running his hands through his already disheveled hair.
What problem are you having?
Kael asked curiously, observing the frustration written across Ren's face. It's a romantic tension scene. The characters are clearly attracted to each other, but neither wants to make the first move, Ren explained, gesturing with his hands. They keep doing this dance, getting close and pulling away, and I can't make it sound natural. Kael leaned forward, resting his elbows on the table.
What would this tension be like?
It's hard to explain. It's like when you know there's something between you and another person, but you're afraid of ruining what you already have. Ren's eyes met Kael's. Like when you accidentally touch and feel an electric shock but pretend nothing happened. The words hung in the air between them. Kael slowly extended his hand and touched Ren's, which was resting on the table. It wasn't accidental this time. Kael's fingers traced Ren's knuckles with a delicacy that made the writer hold his breath.
Like this?
Kael murmured, his voice lower than normal.
Chapter 5. I think of you when I write.
Ren didn't pull his hand away. Instead, he turned his palm up, allowing Kael to slide his fingers gently across its sensitive surface before intertwining them with his own. The touch was warm, firm, and sent waves of heat up Ren's arm until they spread through his chest like a silent fire.
Exactly like this,
Ren replied, his voice coming out more hoarse than he intended. They stayed like that for a moment, fingers intertwined on the table, laptops and coffee cups forgotten. The coffee shop around them seemed to have disappeared, leaving only that intimate space illuminated by the soft light of the pendant lamp above the table.
Ren?
Kael began, and there was something different in his tone, more decided.
Can I tell you something?
Of course.
I didn't used to stay up this late before you started coming here. I changed my sleep schedule just to make sure I'd be awake when you arrived.
Ren's heart jumped. Why? Kael smiled, a small but genuine smile that completely transformed his face.
Because you became the best part of my early mornings. And maybe I was hoping you felt something similar?
Instead of answering with words, Ren squeezed Kael's fingers. What if I told you I think about you when I'm writing my romantic scenes? Kael's breathing slowed.
I'd say that's dangerous for my self-control. Chapter 6. The Taste of Desire.
What if I didn't want you to control yourself? The words left Ren before he could censor them, loaded with a boldness that surprised him. Kael stood slowly, without letting go of Ren's hand, and walked around the table. The writer turned in his chair to face him, his heart beating so hard he was sure Kael could hear it. Kael's height made him tilt his head slightly upward, creating an intimacy that made Ren feel small before this man.
Are you sure?
Kael murmured, raising his free hand to lightly touch Ren's face, tracing a delicate line with his thumb along his cheekbone. In response, Ren also stood, closing the distance between them until he could feel the warmth emanating from Kael's body. And why wouldn't I be? He smiled mischievously, feeling Kael's breath warm his face. The kiss began hesitant, almost shy, lips touching with the delicacy of someone testing unknown territory. But when Ren parted his lips, allowing Kael to deepen the contact, something broke between them. Kael's hands slid to Ren's nape, fingers burying themselves in the dark hair, while Ren grabbed Kael's shirt, pulling him closer. The kiss tasted of coffee and of a desire kept for a long time, which was now finally being savored by both. When they separated, both were breathless, faces close enough to share the same air.
Chapter 7. Heat of the Early Morning.
This is good, but it could be dangerous here, Ren whispered, with a slight trace of concern that wasn't enough to move him away even an inch.
It could be. But I want this.
Kael replied firmly, his hand sliding down Ren's back, feeling the tension melt under his touch. Boldly, Ren pulled Kael into another kiss, this one more intense, more desperate. His hands explored the broad shoulders, descended down the firm back, memorizing every curve and muscle. Kael gently pressed him against the table, their bodies aligning perfectly. Ren let out a low moan that was muffled by Kael's lips. Kael? The name came out like a plea, loaded with desire and need. No.
Yes.
Kael murmured against Ren's lips, one hand moving up to brush away the hair falling across the rider's forehead. The kisses became more urgent, hands exploring with a hunger that had been repressed for months. Kael trailed a path of kisses along Ren's jaw, down his neck, finding that sensitive spot just below his ear that made Ren arch his back and grip Kael's shirt more tightly. We need to stop, Ren panted, even as his hands contradicted his words, sliding under Kael's shirt to touch the warm skin.
Why?
Kael asked, unconvinced. Because someone might see us.
So?
Kael asked. And if we don't stop now, I won't be able to stop.
Chapter 8. A Dance in the Back of the Cafe.
Kael smiled. That smile that radiated unquestionable confidence and a security that made Ren desire him even more.
And who said I want you to stop?
The answer came in the form of another kiss, this one slower, more deliberate. While their lips moved in perfect harmony, Kael gently guided Ren behind the counter, then to the back of the cafe where there were no more excuses not to continue. Knowing every inch of that intimate environment, Kael stopped in front of an empty counter and lifted Ren with ease, making him sit on the surface. Then he no longer held back. Between the strong, full-bodied aroma of coffee that perfumed the air, the soft golden light of the lamps, and the inviting silence of the early morning, they completely lost themselves in each other. Hands explored every possible inch, lips traced maps of desire on heated skin, and bodies moved in a dance as old as time itself, a dance that lasted long, intense minutes. When they finally separated, both were panting, sweaty, hair disheveled, and lips swollen from kisses. Kael rested his forehead against Ren's, a silly little smile stamped on his face.
So, after this, you're going to keep showing up here at 3 a.m., right? You won't run away?
He asked, making Ren laugh softly. If I have to run away, it'll definitely be to here, Ren replied with a little smile loaded with mischief.
Really?
Kael asked, a gleam of admiration and passion dancing in his eyes.
What time? I need to know so I can take a nap before you arrive.
Kael smiled, that silly little smile that completely melted Ren. Well, maybe I could make an exception and start arriving a little earlier, Ren replied, playing with the buttons of Kael's shirt while his fingers brushed against the warm skin of his chest. Like at 10 p.m.
At 10 p.m., I still have customers around.
Then 10:30?
Ren,
Kael held the writer's face in his hands.
you can come anytime you want. Always.
Ren smiled, that genuine smile that Kael loved to observe during all those early mornings.
what if I want to come during the day, too?
Then I'll have to teach you how to make coffee. I can't let my writer boyfriend go without.
The word boyfriend made Ren's heart leap with joy. Boyfriend, huh?
If you want.
Kael murmured, suddenly shy again. In response, Ren pulled him into another kiss, soft and full of warmth. I want that, more than any happy ending I've ever written. And while the early morning continued outside, in the back of Luna Coffee, two insomniac souls finally found their home in each other between coffee cups and love stories that, this time, had themselves as protagonists.